Hey everybody, Tanya from Shooting Star SVG back, and today I am going to go through an Etsy shop critique. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and click on like and subscribe below, as that keeps me motivated to continue making these videos so that way you can grow your business and change your life. Today I will be going through a shop critique for Pearl Bay Designs. And I have started doing these shop critiques where I will go through the entirety of the shop and also audit 2 listings, so that way people can get some improvements and tips on how they can get more traffic and sales on their Etsy shop. These have been very successful for people, just to help them out, to make tiny tweaks to really get them going. And a lot of times these are newer shops, but I also look into some that have been around for quite some time. So if you would like one, go ahead and drop a comment below, or an even better solution would be to go over to the Facebook group. There is an announcement on the top of the group where you can drop your store link, and then I will provide you a shop critique. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go on over to my computer screen so y'all can see what I'm looking at. I do these off the cuff, so I have not looked at the shop beforehand, so you will see all of my reactions as we go through. Alright, let's get started. So I've already gone ahead and loaded up her shop. I will say that the banner is very colorful and exciting. So I like it. She does state that there are SVGs, designs, sublimations, and printables. So these are 3 categories that are all very different but similar, if that makes any sense. We'll go through the shop and see what kind of listings she has, but it may be prudent to separate the printables from the SVGs and sublimation prints, depending on if it's looking very muddled. I do see that she has a good amount of sales, and that you have gotten a lot of 5-star reviews in the past 7 days, so that's fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and click on favorite shop here, because why not? And I see that your logo is just an owl. I recommend changing that. That's a little confusing to me. I would think that if you incorporate your name and put it in a logo with some other sort of accents, that would probably be better for your branding. So keep that in mind. You do have shop sections, which is fantastic, and you are differentiating between your printables and your SVGs, as well as your sublimation designs. The only feedback I have would be to take this Halloween shop section, remove your exclamation points, and eliminate the spaces, as Etsy does look at that as a sort of tag, so to speak. So if somebody is searching for a Halloween printable, they will not find you necessarily at the top of the search because of this. You do have your featured items, which is good. First thing I am noticing is that your printables are washed out. Because you're using this white shiplap background with white and black coloring pages, it is really hard to read, and so I would highly recommend that you figure out a different type of background to display your printables. Another thing that I would recommend, and this will go hand in hand with updating this logo here, is getting a logo that will also work well, and that way you can stamp your logo in the corner. That is also very helpful, and you probably want to put something on your promo image that states it's a printable, and what your file type is, whether it is a JPEG or a PNG or a PDF, which I don't know what it is until I get into the listings. But I would definitely recommend a different background, because these are very hard to read and it is hurting my eyes. So definitely work on the background. I think that will set you apart and make your designs more easy to read and more poppy when people are going through the search results. So what I recommend for this case is just doing some Etsy searches for printable coloring books or whatever it might be, and that way you can work on that background, see what other people are doing where it's really showcasing the design, and that will help you, because you have to keep in mind when people are on Etsy, they're just scrolling through and they're going to click on something once it stands out to them. So how are you going to make yourself stand out from the thousands of other people who are also selling these things? Okay, that's the mindset you have to be in when you're creating these promo listings. Okay, overall, it looks like a lot of people have stuff in their cart. You're making sales, you're having good reviews, so that's great. like I said, you do have a mix of designs. I would recommend the same thing here for these sublimation designs. You want to get rid of that ugly shiplap background and figure out something that's a little bit more blunted. Here, we'll just go over to my Etsy shop real fast and I'll show you how I do it and how a lot of others do it. You will have some sort of background, and hopefully this won't take 20,000 years to load, and you have a bar with your file types and your logo, as well as a background that is not necessarily a solid color. In this case, I am using a paper texture, and I will post the link to these textures in the description box, but you can see that it makes it a little bit more difficult to trace. So just keep that in mind when you are creating your listings. Okay, you want to, it will make it a lot easier for the customer if you had a bar on here that said sublimation design 300 DPI or whatever it may be. Go ahead and do some searches on Etsy so you can see what that looks like. So overall on the first page, a good effort. I would think that all the printables are going to be kind of similar in the terms of this being washed out. I'm going to go ahead and click on SVGs and see. And it looks like you do have that bottom bar there with the logo, which is great. Just don't recommend that shiplap background. It just does not look that great, in my opinion. That is my personal opinion. If you like it, leave it. So that is good with the SVGs. I recommend that you do the same thing with the sublimation designs, just to make that clear. And these are all actually very, very, very pretty. So keep up the good work on that. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go back over to the home page here and scroll down. You have really good reviews, which is awesome. It already looks like these print out very well, so that is good. And you have a great shop story in a video on this, so that's fantastic. You do have your Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, which is awesome. I would recommend getting your shop policies updated and maybe put some back in there about your files and if there are any issues in your return policy as well. So definitely work on your shop policies and get those updated, okay? Etsy does take that into consideration when they're bumping people up in search results based off of their algorithm, because if your shop is full and complete, then they understand that you are not a robot or spam, and they will give you more of a boost than other shops that do not have their information filled out. So just keep that in mind. Okay, with that being said, I have already opened up a few listings to go ahead and look at. I have a couple of printables, and now that I see that she has multiple types of items, I will probably look into some of the SVGs and one sublimation design. So to do this, I have to utilize Etsy Rank, and when I do this, I will put in the shop name, but it will only give me 100 listings. So I've actually went through and found 2 that are already on there because she does have more than 100 listings. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause it real fast, and I'm going to find an SVG that is showing up as well as a sublimation, and you are going to get 4 audits instead of 2 because you're offering other products. So here we go. So the first listing that we're going to look at is these printable lunchbox notes. These are super cute. Looks like you have layered these over a background, which is a good start. But I do recommend showcasing these in a little bit different way for your first image, so that people understand what they're looking at. Maybe something more like this. And again, with that shiplap background, I'm just not a huge fan of it. But yeah, this is awesome. So I think these are super cute. This is definitely something that I would never think of for putting in my kids' lunch boxes. So I can really dig this. And obviously you've had some good traction on it, so keep that up. I would recommend working on these images and maybe adding a few more in as far as what they can be used for. Maybe something about it being an instant download. And I'm looking at your title here: printable lunchbox notes, school lunch notes, printable kids lunchbox jokes. Not a bad title. It is a little bit stuffy as far as keyword stuff goes. You may want to keep it as like kids printable lunchbox notes, and maybe one more thing in there, or and just keep school lunch notes and get rid of the printable kids lunchbox jokes, because you're just repeating yourself at this point. and you don't want to keyword stuff because it is not something that Etsy appreciates. So I see here that you have put in PDF and digital file in your materials, which is good. I always recommend that people fill their materials out with things that people may also be searching for as far as what they're using. Okay, and we'll go ahead and look at the description here. I do recommend that you copy and paste whatever your title is and put that in as the first line, because that will help you with your search engine optimization. And you do say, add a little something with these fun and colorful lunchbox notes, 18 designs onto 11.5 by 11 by 8.5 pages. So that's great. You do mention your specifications, which is one zip file, which is a PDF, 2 pages, and the paper size, which is great. You mentioned that no physical item will be sent, and okay, it looks like you do have some good things in your description, and you give credit to Free Pick and Pixabay as far as your mock-up product layout and backgrounds. You can do this yourself in Canva. I mean, if you have the ability to utilize Canva, you can make some really killer promo images utilizing Canva. So I do recommend that. And I guess I will have to be doing a video shortly on creating promo images in Canva for your Etsy shop. That way I can help you all through that hump, because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. Regardless, the description does well. You just want to make sure you get these title words into the description, so that way it's boosting you in the shop. So we'll go ahead and check out the tags that you have on here. Let's see, funny lunch notes, love notes, jokes for kids, DIY lunch notes, lunchbox notes, notes from mom, notes from dad, funny printables, encouragement, positive notes, school lunch notes, lunchbox jokes. The tags are pretty good. You're getting good views and getting good traction on here. Your price point is spot on. I would think that you might want to do a little bit of keyword research to see where your competition is at. So just to show you what that would look like, I'll go ahead and I think I have Marmalade open. I do. Let's just do lunchbox notes. Let's see what comes up. This doesn't have a ton of searches or a ton of engagement. The competition isn't ridiculous, which is good. And if you scroll down, you can see what kind of people are offering here as well, and the price spread. Some of these look like they might be physical products, and you can see kind of the tags that people are utilizing in their shops as well when they're putting in lunchbox notes. So lunchbox notes obviously is at the top of the list here. Notes for kids, lunchbox notes, lunch notes, school notes, printable notes, encouragement cards. And let's see how well you did here, and it looks like you have included some of these words in your tags as well. So keep up the good work. I think here in this case you will definitely get up in the search ranks here for this particular listing. So keep that up. Overall, good effort. As far as the coloring pages go, again, these will be kind of washed out. These are super cute, by the way. These are kind of washed out in terms of the background compared to the actual page itself. But it looks like, you have some stuff in here. If you want to include materials in as your tags, you might want to put in a coloring page or coloring sheet in your materials. So the title is Easter Coloring for Kids. I would just make this printable Easter coloring sheets for kids. Easter coloring activity, and be done with it. And get rid of all the other fluff and buff. Copy and paste that, put it at the beginning of your description, okay? And you do list what your specifications are, and you're not, I would remove this about shipping. Other than that, the description seems okay. One thing I may recommend is actually coloring one of these in to show somebody what they look like, and just that background, doing something that's not going to wash that out. So we'll go ahead and go over to eRink, and we'll look at, I'm just going to type in Easter here. Your tags, You have coloring pages, Easter printables, Easter activities, activity pages, party favors, coloring sheets. I might remove the one about party favors. I don't see how that's really related. DIY coloring book is good. Easter coloring, coloring for kids, kids activity page, busy work. Busy work I would remove. I don't understand why somebody would be searching for busy work. It's a waste of a tag. You really want to center your tags around coloring pages, printables, printable coloring pages, activity sheets, things like that. You have to really put yourself in the mindset of the customer when you're creating your tags. So a little bit of work needed on those tags, but overall it's a very good effort. I think it's a really cute idea, and you really just want to make sure that your listing is going to pop in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to go over to Etsy, and what we're going to do is we're going to search. So that's another thing that I like to do when I'm looking at people's items to try to see how they can get up in the search, is to just go Easter printable coloring sheets. Okay, and let's see what comes up. There are only 338 results, which is insane. That means there is definitely a need for this if people are looking for Easter coloring pages. And you can see that yours does show up at the beginning of the search results. Keep in mind, this is tailored toward what I would be looking for, so I do recommend doing this in an incognito tab. But you definitely want to showcase these differently so that they stand out from the rest of the crowd. Sometimes it could be a little bit difficult to do, but I definitely think that will help you get to where you need to be if you are setting yourself apart from everybody else, okay? So keep that in mind. Other than that, this is a very good effort. You may just want to work on that background image, okay? And now we're going to hop into the SVGs so we can take a look at that. So this is the coffee one. And it looks like you just have the one image, so highly recommend that you get some mock-ups. Placeit is a very good tool to use, which I have a link in the description box below for you guys to utilize that. I can see that you do have a watermark running through this. I wouldn't even bother with this shiplap background. It's going to be really hard for somebody to give it a trace. Other than that, you know, you have your bar here that shows what file types are provided. In materials, you could also include Silhouette Cameo and Cricut Explore Air if you so wish. You may want to include 300 dpi for your PNG and JPEG if you are providing 300 dpi, okay? I would remove the cut file in PNG out of your title. This give me coffee and no one gets hurt. You could add SVG to the end and funny SVG quote, and then just get rid of the rest, and other than that it's good. Then copy and paste your title and put it in the description, and I would say that is a good effort. I do recommend with this, you want to make your design actually bigger on the thing so people can actually see on the promo image, this in a larger size, so that way they can have more detail, unless you have done this to fit it in the thumbnail. So let me go back here and check this out. Okay, so yeah, I can see that you have changed these so that way you can get a good thumbnail. So one thing that you're going to want to do is create a stock promo image, so to speak, so that way your thumbnails fit, and then you don't have to worry about this because this does not look good. And the reason why I say that is because it may look good here because, you know, obviously you're using that same promo image, you're trying to squeeze it into the box. You don't want to do that. So I will have a video up shortly on sizing for Etsy thumbnails, and y'all can utilize those ratios to really help you out. Other than that, your tags are not going to get you any traffic. I hate to be brutal, but this is not going to get you where you need to be. SVG cut file is ridiculously competitive. Gift for him or her is not going to be searched for in Etsy. T-shirt design is ridiculously competitive. DXF cut file, same thing. Craft file, the same thing. Funny SVG you could keep. Funny quote is ridiculously competitive. Heat transfer vinyl has nothing to do with what you're doing. Funny cut file you could keep. Coffee mug design, again, I would not. So if this was my design, I would break up the title and say, give me coffee, SVG. No one gets hurt, SVG. Funny, SVG quote. Coffee lover. Okay, you need to think of like who would purchase something like this. Maybe mom life. You know, things like that. You really have to put your mind in a place where the customer would be, and utilizing Marmalade or eRank to search for keywords will really help you start off with your base keyword. Give me coffee, SVG. Type that in and see what comes up. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do it. So you can see what I'm talking about. Not a lot of searches, not a lot of competition for this particular one. But if you scroll down, you can see some of the popular tags that are being utilized for these particular listings. So if you want to scope out even broader, what you can do is just do a basic coffee SVG and see what comes up, and then expand out from there. And this is going to give you a ton of search results, because I'm presuming that this is a very competitive keyword in the SVG market. And so what you do when you're doing this keyword research is you start from something that has a ridiculous amount of competition, okay? Take some tags from that, narrow it down, take some tags from that, narrow it down, take some tags from that, so that way you have a broad spectrum. Okay, you can see this has high search volume but ridiculously high competition. It has very good engagement, so you probably want to include coffee SVG in there, okay, as well as give me coffee SVG, okay. And when you scroll down here, you can see some of the other tags that are tied to this, and the popular ones anyway. A lot of people are just, coffee lover SVG, that's a good one. Coffee mug SVG, coffee cup SVG, okay. You definitely want to get something that's going to put that in the mindset of what are my customers searching for. So you definitely have some work to do on the tags for this particular SVG file if you want to get the SVG situated. So we're going to go ahead and look at the sublimation design. Okay. And again, you have a good promo image here. I do recommend that bottom bar that states what you are selling. You do have a mock-up here, which is good to showcase what that would look like on a shirt. I would recommend getting a few more on there, maybe a tote bag, a hat, I don't know. Place It will help you get there. There's a ton of different mock-ups that you can utilize there, and a few other promo images. Beach Sublimation Design PNG file for sublimation digital download. This title is not good. You will probably never get found in the search results just with this. I would straight up put Life is Better at the Beach sublimation file or sublimation design. That's it. That's all I would put for the title. Copy and paste that and put in the title of your description. You can see here that is one ping created at 300 dpi for optimal quality. One thing I would recommend is putting in how big it is dimension wise, okay? A lot of people fail to do this, and then you download the file and it's like a 2" by 2". Well, you can't resize that to get what you need for a print, because you're going to skew everything out, and then that 300 dpi turns into a very low quality printout, okay? So in this case, if you have created this on a 12 by 12 and the dimensions of it are 10 by 6 or 12 by 10, whatever it is, you want to put that in there. So put the dimensions of the PNG file in there, and that will definitely help. Other than that, your description isn't bad, but you do not have anything in here about returns and exchanges and receiving a digital download, so I do recommend that you adjust that. So we'll go ahead and look at the tags here, and we're back in the same boat as the SVG listing. So you may get found in some search results, and you have had some views on this, but I would highly recommend doing some keyword research and getting those tags updated, or you're never going to be found in search results. So you have beach mentioned in here one time. Sublimation, summer clip art, tropical clip art, beach life. Okay, so a few times, but yeah, if you're targeting somebody looking for a beach sublimation design, that this is not going to get them there, not with all of the competition that's out there. So you definitely want to utilize Marmalade or Etsy Rank to work on some keywords, or just think of some on your own by utilizing Etsy search and seeing what else is out there, because this is not going to get up in the search results. So that's all I have for the listings. Definitely have a little bit of work to do as far as your titles and tags on the listings themselves, but overall good effort. So just to recap what we've gone through, I would highly recommend looking into getting a logo that incorporates this Pearl Bay Designs, because that is your branded name, right? So you want to have a logo around that and stamp that on your promo images. I do recommend a different background for your printables because they are getting washed out. Overall, the title that I looked at for the printable pages seems pretty good. You just want to keep it short and concise and make sure you're not keyword stuffing, and really put your mind in the proper place, thinking as a customer and what they would be searching for in Etsy when they're trying to find your items. You also may want to consider adding in a full colored rendition of the photo to show what the end product could look like. Definitely recommend getting a logo so that you can slap it on these promo images. We need to work on the sizing of that, which I will post a link on how to size Etsy thumbnails here shortly. And then for the SVGs and the sublimations, you really want to work on those titles and tags. Other than that, you have all of your shop sections filled out, sans your policies, which you really do need to focus on. Other than that, this is a really good effort. I think that you'll be very successful. You just have to figure out a way of what's going to set you apart from the rest, and then getting those listings in the top search of Etsy, and that will really, really help you get a boost. If you have any questions on the critique, you let me know in the comments on YouTube, or go back over to the Facebook page and you can comment there. Other than that, really good effort. I think that you're going to go very far with this. You're already off to a really fantastic start. You just have to keep pushing, okay? And if you're still watching this video and you've gotten something out of this, go ahead and click on like and subscribe below, as I will continue to do these. And as other people watch these critiques, they'll also pick up on things that can help them with their shops as well. Yep, that's all I got. So if you guys need anything else, hop on over to the Facebook group and let me know. If not, y'all have a great night.